Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 4 of Deviance Casting. I am Deviance Shadow Prophecy, joined once again by Deviance Firehawk.
Hello, everybody.
Today we have a matchup between our resident Shadow Paladin player and our Link Joker player. Shadow Paladins will be on your right-hand side of the screen, and the Link Joker on the left. It's going to be
an interesting matchup, this one.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. Very interesting matchup. Basically, it will come down to, is the Link Joker player able to lock down the field of the Shadow Paladin player and swing with those big criticals and get those multi-attacks off throughout their turns? Shadow Paladins also are able to skew the matchup in their favor. Again, a big spectral is a big spectral and has to be respected at any point in the game against any clan in the game.
Don't you think that the Link Jokers have a little bit of an advantage there, being able to lock down some of the units that can be used to create those big spectrals?
Well, I think that that's pretty great. It's a very interesting thing that will happen, and we'll see how the matchup ends up going.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting matchup. It can really swing either way, especially on that first stride.
Yeah, well,
really, depending on who gets that.
Yeah, well, the first stride will make or break the game, because it'll normally be Urugaiza versus probably a big crunch or a flagellant, depending on the board position for both players, obviously.
Well, Shadow Paladin, depending on what they want to do, can also go into something like Carnivore Dragon.
Carnivore as well is also quite a very good stride.
And if the Link Joker player misplays, you're going to be looking at things like Diablo coming out.
Well, that's exactly right. Diablo always has to be respected in every matchup.
One of the best cards they've printed for Shadow Paladins, honestly.
Very true, very true.
Here we go. We see all the hands, and looks like they're putting 2 back for the Shadows. I didn't quite catch how many for Links.
I also did not catch how many for Links.
That was a couple. I think Blood looks like he's got 3 cards on the board, so I'd say around about 2. Making sure the decks are shuffled.
Definitely some shuffling going on by the players. Make sure everything's nice and good.
Again, just let everybody know the Link Joker player is relatively new to the game.
Very, very true as well. So if there are any misplays, we do apologise for that. But we will talk you through plays as we see them and as the game progresses.
Alright, here we go. Hopefully nobody gets grade locked. Looks like Shadow Paladin's going first. And right into Swordbreaker again. Interesting place to put Swordbreaker.
Well, it's quite good. So we see our Link Joker player drawing for turn, riding their perfect guard and swinging.
Looks like
rest
that
of
was
the
a
sire
grade 2
and
quick
trigger for the drive and the damage respectively. Drawing, riding into marker, I believe that is, and calling Powell's, swinging in. Very, very quick play straight off. A altering
very
with the
early
sire,
aggression as well.
swinging with the Vanguard. No guard again declared. So a draw trigger
by the looks of that. Which is, again, a nice early little bit of advantage to get those draw triggers in early.
Very, very true. So standing and drawing, we'll see what he rides into. And a rest of the sire
straight into the swing.
Gets a critical trigger, that's a very good thing. Oh, and a Belial. No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Probably the best card for the Shadow Paladin Luard deck in Generation... sorry, not Generation Break, GV10, the booster set. Deciding a bit of more early aggression and not riding. Playing a little bit with Sea Breeze, but we'll see how that goes.
I don't think there's a Sea Breeze in the Link Joker deck from memory.
From memory, I don't think it is, but I'm sure we'll see here. Rides Freeze
But
Race,
it doesn't matter. That's a nice little counter to what the Shadow Paladin's doing right now, sitting on Freeze Ray.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late, as we see our Link Joker player already on 4 damage.
Very true. But however, you can still get that big shutdown if you do it correctly. Just lock that one column off.
Very, very true. So we'll see how this goes. Swings at the Vanguard. No guard declared again. Another critical. And a Sack Messiah. Critical trigger. And critical trigger.
That's a lot of crits in the damage zone right now for the Shadow Paladin.
But a lot of hand as well.
Very true. Now it's going to be interesting to see what he does here.
So Luard is the ride, very good. Deciding to drop the Stride Fodder again, very, very good.
Going into Urugai's, I think.
Wants to build that hand even more, which is very, very fair.
Especially against the Link Joker deck that can be putting
The
that big
10k
numbers.
vanilla can actually hit.
Yes, because it's on Freeze Ray.
Very
Nice little sneaky play.
Very,
But does he attack the right? Does he attack the right way? Is the question.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We might see a change of stride, which is interesting.
I don't think so. Maybe. I think if I'm just reading the stride.
Interesting.
Notice how the
Few Chronicle player deciding, calling over the judge. So, okay.
yeah. I think the decision there was made because there's no point really hitting anybody else just because. Yes, attack that one first, please. Nope.
Alrighty, so we see the attacks being declared, so a Hoel and a Silver boost, so damage taken, blocks the rear guard. Decides to use Urugai's, retiring that, counterblasting to move to soul, extra 5k there. Resolves his ability to check both the top two cards and see what they are. So first is a grade 1, an extra 5k power. And the second is a grade 2, so no power there. Decides to swing. Probably going to be a guard from the Link Joker player, seeing as he's at 5.
You would hope so, but judging by that hand, he should be fine to be able to do this. His hand is quite large, but I'm seeing a lot of grade 1s and 2s in there, which is a little worrying.
Very, very true. So,
do see a heal trigger dropping for the G-Guard by this bit.
Let's see.
It doesn't get a plus 10k or plus 5k, so I'm not going to bother.
Choosing to not unlock anything by the looks of that.
So that's 2 to pass?
Very, very interesting.
That's 25.
So, seeing how much they're guarding for, so 25 to 36, I believe. So he'll need an extra 15 for 1 to pass, which is just a lot of cards out of his hand. Like, looking at it now, it's a lot of triggers there.
It really is. Uruguay is very, very good. Being deceptively powerful to people. I don't think
Yes, well, we will see. Players just calculating guard at this point. As I said,
it does take some time.
I believe it's another 10k, and that'll be 2 to pass, I believe. So.
Alright, that was a good little guard there by the Link Joker player, making sure that nothing got through, and the nice lock by Freeze Ray there.
Yes. All cards in the Link Joker player's deck are firing off here. We'll see if he is able to ride into Alter Ego now to be able to take advantage of some of its lesser known effects by Soul Blasting Soul Blasting on an unlock to draw, which is very, very handy against a Shadow Paladin player's deck.
It really does. It really does give benefits against really any deck, just because you've got that hand advantage where you can guard those huge attacks, those big spectrals, for example.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And unfortunately, also not being on Alter Ego sort of limits the lockdown pressure that you can provide.
Yes, especially when you're going straight into Flagellate Messiah, you can't really take a benefit of those big, Omega locks.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right.
He does, however, have an Arrester Messiah, which can be used to get a lockdown at least.
He does also have the critical trigger that he can use. So if he calls that critical trigger, he is able to return it to the deck, and because he is on Freeze Ray, which is a Starvader, he can actually lock the Swordbreaker in the back row.
He's gonna do that with the rest of Messiah though anyway.
Assuming it hits. Or is it just on attack?
True.
I can't remember.
I think it's on attack if I remember correctly. When it locks, you lock an opponent's back row regard.
Fair enough. We'll see. So, swinging? Not swinging? Just declaring attacks, reading skills, making sure we don't miss anything here. Alright.
As much as we do just chill, we do like to make sure we get the rules right. The 10k guard gets dropped, and Swordbreaker is locked.
Very, very good. So, locking both effects. Well, locking off of its own effect. Sack Messiah, locking off its effect. Alrighty.
Which is honestly one of the best cards for that Link Joker deck. Sacrifice Messiah allows you to get even bigger numbers, similar to how Hoel works with Kahedin.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Like Hoel, just any grade 1, for instance, but Kahedin obviously the preferred. So, declares an attack, flipping. So, unlocking.
PG comes out.
Unlocking both. We'll see if he decides to put the critical trigger into his soul, and he probably should to get a little bit more hand advantage.
Alright, what's he gonna do? No, I don't think he's gonna do it by the looks of it.
No, so straight to check, so critical, all effects to the rear guard.
Just a nice check there.
Nice check. A stand trigger, again, more power to the rear guard.
A little bit wasted in this deck, unfortunately.
Interesting he's playing stands over draws though. Going for a
very interesting
controlling route.
Yeah. It's very nice, especially if you can get that stuff off early to go into Flageolet to keep everything locked down, but it really does require you to have those in your hands to begin with, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. So we do see a G guard here. Going into
Plot Maker. Looks at that, yep.
Yep. So that, I hope he is at Ritual 3, and it does look like he is, so that will stop the attack. So striding. We'll see if he goes Diablo or Spectral here.
It's gonna be interesting because he can't really Diablo. He could potentially go into...
Does go to Spectral.
Carnivore, but it goes Spectral instead. Thoughts on that play?
It very much depends. Oh, well, okay, that just changed everything. This game is just turned on. Hoel into double Kahedin, giving 6k to both rear guards and 12k to the Vanguard is just a huge amount of power.
Unfortunately, there was a heal trigger soul charge there as well.
I honestly don't think it's going to matter, as the Link Joker player only has a few cards in hand. He does have a few more off to the side that he's kind of forgotten about.
By the looks of it, he has, unfortunately. Just reading some skills right now by the looks of that. Sacrificing to get yet more power onto the Vanguard.
And an on-hit ability of calling a grade 1. Just in case.
If he hits, you know, being at 5 damage, the Link Joker player doesn't really want him to hit.
Well, that's exactly right, but a heal trigger could come through, and then, you know, an extra grade 1 is always handy.
Then you've got Freeze Ray to proc as well.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Shadow Paladin player here just thinking about his attack pattern. He really wants to make sure he gets it right.
Yeah, Freeze Ray's not really going to matter in this situation for the Shadow Paladin player.
No, as I said a few turns ago, it was just a bit too late.
Yeah, Freeze Ray is very good in that early game when you're sitting at 3 damage or less.
Yeah, if the Link Joker player goes first, Freeze Ray is a fantastic card to be on. But unfortunately, with him going second, Freeze Ray is not particularly where you want to be. And he swings straight away with Diablo. So we'll see what happens here. No card declared.
Second. Doesn't get any checks, but it's lethal, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, our Link Joker player forgetting the rest of the cards in his hand. I'm not sure if that particularly would have mattered, but we'll see.
It was several 10k guards.
Triggers. Okay, so that may have actually changed the game a little bit there.
He may have been able to stop one attack.
Definitely may have.
Because that would have been sitting about 40 or so.
But the second attack, probably.
The second attack, I think, Yeah, still would have gone through.
Yeah.
Because he'd have to
Unfortunately for the
guard
Link
that,
Joker
and then
player.
yeah, then there's more rear guard attacks because freeze ray's not going to proc, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just an all-round bad situation there for the Link Joker player, I think.
Unfortunately, not being able to ride into Alter Ego Messiah really did cost him there.
Yeah, that deck unfortunately really wants when it goes second, it really wants to be on Alter Ego like straight away.
Exactly. That way, because most of your strides, if not all of your strides, will immediately put you at Generation Break 2, allowing you to take full advantage of that Soul Blaster draw.
Yeah. Well, that was another interesting game to cast. We've definitely had a few interesting ones this round, at least.
Definitely have, definitely have. I'm looking forward to the final matches. We kind of have followed our Shadow Paladin player throughout this tournament. So next round will be the final round. So make sure to stay tuned and look forward for that.
It's gonna be good.
We'll see
I'm excited.
If the Shadow Paladin player is able to take it all the way, whether he can actually come throughout the finals and win the entire tournament.
Yeah, hopefully. But we'll see, because we haven't watched the Gearcon player. We haven't really seen how well he did, but if he made it into the finals, he definitely must be playing pretty well.
Well, that's exactly right. We do see a return of him in the finals, as the first casting episode was the final round of Nova Grappler versus the Gear Chronicle player. So he makes his return to the finals. So we'll see if he can make it 2 from 2, or whether the Shadow Paladin player will take the match.
That'll be interesting nonetheless.
That'd be interesting. Anyway, guys, once again, we'd like to thank you for tuning in and watching.
It's been a good time, and I don't think there's much more else we can really say about this match.
Not particularly. Again, thank you for all the support that we've seen on our videos so far. Again, it really does mean a lot to us all.
Yeah, it actually again means a hell of a lot to us, and don't forget to keep liking, subscribing, share with your friends if if you like them. If you don't, doesn't really matter. Just share with them anyway.
Anyway, guys, that's all from us at Deviance Gaming today. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.